Stepdad won't knock before entering, teen gets last laugh. She heard the front door creak open downstairs. Knowing her stepdad was coming home early as he always did, she took off her robe. She'd been hatching this plan for a while now, and today everything was right. She closed her room's door, knowing he wouldn't be able to resist. She would show him things today. Nikki was 16 when she first butted heads with her stepdad. Her parents had divorced some years prior. Although Nikki was happy that they found happiness, she'd found it hard to accept this new phase of her life. Life had thrust her into two different houses, each led by a different parent expecting her to acclimate to the new setting. Nikki's dad was the first to date. His platonic relationship with Nikki's mom didn't turn sour when he broke the news. Seeing him blush as he talked about his girlfriend made Nikki see past the pain that lingered in her heart after the divorce. Soon after, her mom found love as well. Nikki hoped their dark days were finally over. With Nikki's mom, it took some months before she met Steve, a senior game designer from Silicon Valley who ran a gaming company in New Orleans. Steve was as excellent as Nikki's mom had painted him while she talked to Nikki as they made dinner. Nikki saw how her mom's eyes lit up when she introduced Steve. She didn't know that meeting Steve would change their home's dynamic. Nikki's mom and Steve dated for 2 years before tying the knot. With that, Nikki and her mom moved to his house in one of the best neighborhoods in New Orleans. Although Nikki and Steve got along well, and Nikki enjoyed being his stepdaughter, the two would soon butt heads, leaving Nikki with no choice but to do the only thing she knew would get Steve off her back. Nikki and her stepdad's altercation began when Nikki was 16. There was nothing Nikki loved in her life than her privacy. She preferred to keep her bedroom door locked, no matter what she did. She'd come home from school or her friends' homes and lock her room's door behind her. But unknown to her, this gesture was slowly stalking her stepdad's anger. Trouble didn't start brewing until the family moved into a bigger house, as Nikki's mom was pregnant. Although the house was an upgrade from the last one, it didn't have locks on its doors. To remedy the situation, Nikki politely asked her mom and stepdad to always knock before entering her room. She wanted to avoid any awkward scenes with her parents. Her stepdad's response would make her mouth fall open. "I'm your parent," Nikki's stepdad said with authority. "I don't need to knock." He wiped his lips, stepping back with his head held high. "What are you hiding, that we should knock?" Nikki's eyebrows drew up as anger surged through her. But as young as she was, she couldn't do or say anything. She looked at her mom for help, but the woman held her tongue. Nikki turned around with fury. She knew just what to do. Nikki went to her dad's that weekend. She'd bottled up all her anger well enough that her mom and stepdad thought she was okay with their response. She opened up to her dad. She explained how much her privacy meant to her and why she wished her mom and stepdad would respect her wishes. His answer would make her cock her head back. "If you don't want your stepdad to enter your room, make him never want to enter your room without knocking again," Nikki's dad said. He took Nikki's hands in his and squeezed. "You got this," he said. "You're smart. Smarter than any of us combined." When Nikki smiled, he kissed her forehead, not knowing that she was already hatching a plan in her mind. Nikki got home that Sunday evening and immediately went through the logistics of her plan. She noted that her stepdad usually came home an hour earlier than her mom. She also knew he usually passed by her room to tell her to take out the trash if she forgot to do it in the morning. A broad smile took Nikki's face. It was time for revenge. On Monday, Nikki got home from school, removing all her clothes and covering herself in a robe. As expected, she didn't take out the trash. The front door creaked open and Nikki removed her robe, taking out one of her favorite books to skim through. And as if on cue, her stepdad barged into her room. "Hey," he began, "I need you to take out the, what is happening?" he screamed, jumping out before he slammed the door shut. "Why aren't you wearing any clothes?" he yelled in the corridor. A smirk bloomed over Nikki's face. "Well," she said. "It's very hot in here." She reached out for her robe, adding, "And I did ask that you knock." Her stepdad's response would wrench a smile on her face. "You're in so much trouble, young lady." Nikki's stepdad growled, but he was using his defeated voice. "I'm telling your mom about this." When Nikki's mom got home that evening, her stepdad told her everything. Although Nikki was not in the room, she could tell her mom was shocked by her actions. She called for Nikki and Nikki walked in casually. Would her parents take her seriously now? Nikki's mom told her they'd be getting a lock for her door. Of course, knocking became frequent in their home afterward. Although Nikki knew she'd gone to extremes then, she was glad she'd gotten the response she wanted. Maybe if her parents had listened to her or tried to hear her out, she wouldn't have been forced to take such drastic measures.